You're watching Back Pages tonight, and welcome back to the sports broadcaster Henry Winter and the Times' Northern football correspondent Martin Hardy. We're going to focus on Chelsea. The Times says that Chelsea balled in a stadium row up there in the top right-hand corner. Todd Boehly has suggested that divisions among Chelsea's owners, Henry, on the future of Stamford Bridge could lead to them splitting. That's from Gary Jacob and Matt Lawton. Just tell us about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, this has been rumbling and running for a while. We know there are divisions or certainly tensions in the boardroom. And when Todd Boehly arrived for the first time, about 30 of us were invited down to Cobham to sort of meet him and talk to him. And one of the most obvious questions put to him is, you do realise that rebuilding the stadium is going to be far more complicated than rebuilding the squad, which has proven a very expensive and difficult enough operation anyway. There are all sorts of covenants on the pitch, the Chelsea pitch owners. You've got the regulator who's coming in a month or so. They will obviously have a say if Chelsea are going to move away. All the local residents will be lawyered up. And they probably don't want sort of 3 years of sort of chaos going on around them. It's an incredibly complicated deal. I mean, where do they move to? You know, whenever you write about Earl's Court, there are people on the Earl's Court site who say, well, they're definitely not coming here. There's also an issue if they did try to redevelop Stamford Bridge. There is a quirky English bit of London law that you have to keep the sight line from a part of Richmond Park, which has to be able to see St Paul's in the city. And so you can't build above a certain height on Stamford Bridge because that's where the sight line goes. So it's incredibly, incredibly complicated. And as you say, if there are sort of tensions anyway, maybe one side is going to have to sell. But this story will run for, I mean, the new Old Trafford will probably be built before Chelsea actually even get a spade in the ground on their new place.
Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive part of London, isn't it? Expensive part of real estate in that southwest corner, Martin. How important is it that Chelsea do, though, develop their stadium when you look at what's happening elsewhere? We've seen the Emirates, we've seen the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we've seen Everton, what's happening at Bramley or Dock now. I mean, there's some fantastic stadiums being built. It's important that a club like Chelsea aren't left behind.
That's very true, but Arsenal haven't won the title since they moved. Tottenham, despite making a great deal of money, are having one of their poorest seasons for quite a long time. There's this great rush now for everybody to build a brand new stadium and increase revenue streams, which may be one of the downsides of PSR, and the fact that the people who are going to end up funding a lot of these increased revenue streams at football clubs are the same people as normal, and that's the punter in the stand, because new grounds are more expensive. The food you get there is more expensive. You're expected to give more of your money there. And, you know, we're a long way away from Manchester United building a new stadium. As Henry said there, Chelsea have been going through this discussion for a long time. And one of the misunderstands of Chelsea is the fact that Stamford Bridge had this huge site many, many years ago and didn't develop it into a capacity beyond 40,000, whereas these days, everybody seems to want to get to beyond 60,000. The game is going to go more global. Real Madrid already 82,000. Barcelona are building a new stand, a new ground on their former home at the new camp. Bayern Munich are 75,000. So if we are heading towards, by the back door, this European Super League, then everybody wants bright new stadiums, and I'm sure in time Chelsea will possibly get there. Newcastle are at the same time in those discussions and seem to be leaning towards now perhaps moving away from St James's Park. But this whole process takes years and years and years to come to fruition. And yeah, as we've seen with the Chelsea one now, it's rumbled on for a long time already.
And Henry, Martin makes a good point, which is that, you know, Arsenal, since they've moved, haven't had a lot of success. Tottenham haven't had a lot of success since their move. It does suck an awful lot of money out of the football club building a new stadium.
Yeah, but it depends how you define success for some of the owners. It's simply about the money rather than the glory. If you look at Tottenham Hotspur's stadium, I mean, it's magnificent. It's won an RIBA. Royal Institute of British Architects, I think, gold medal for the quality of it. It is a stunning stadium, and it's good to watch football in, and is also used for many events, whether it's concerts and other events. So, you know, it is a money spinner. Ditto with Arsenal. You know, if you're, you know, a corporation in London and you want to hold one of your board meetings, Arsenal is a very attractive venue because of its location, not far from the city, and because of the facilities there. It's not simply about the sort of, you know, the 22 men and women who run around on the pitch. It's also the, you know, the money spinning element. It's one of the reasons why Everton have moved away from their ancestral home at Goodison Park to this magnificent new stadium, because they'll be able to generate more money from it. So I take Martin's point about the you know, the stadiums, and that was one of the reasons why they did move to the Emirates, is that they felt that they could push on, and you know what, the Invincibles was only a sort of couple of years before, and they haven't really, but financially they'll probably be quite happy with the move.